A few minutes ago, the Russian Defense Ministry officially announced that amid the plight of the Ukrainian occupation army in the Kursk region, the Ukrainian High Military Command continues its desperate attempts to attack the positions of Russian troops in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk region. According to representatives of the Russian military department, the Ukrainian army is trying to break through Russian troops' defenses in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk oblast to release Ukrainian troops trapped in the Koronevsky and Sudzhansky districts of this Russian region. According to the official representative of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, General Igor Konashenkov, on the morning of October 31, Ukrainian troops made another attempt to invade the Kursk region, near the village of Novyi Put. However, the professional actions of the soldiers of the group of troops under the designation Sever did not allow the enemy to gain a foothold in their positions. It is reported that after a 2-hour battle, with the use of artillery installations and combat aviation, the Ukrainian troops, with heavy losses in manpower and equipment, were forced to retreat towards the Sumy region. According to official data, the Ukrainian army lost about 80 soldiers and 10 pieces of heavy equipment in this battle, including 2 German Leopard tanks. In addition, the Russian side also confirmed the participation of NATO forces on the side of the Ukrainian army during its attempt to break through Russian defenses in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk region. In total, according to official reports from the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, over the past 24 hours, the Ukrainian army, along with NATO forces, lost 400 soldiers, 24 armored combat vehicles, 22 infantry fighting vehicles, 30 pickup trucks, and 3 tanks in the Kursk region. The fact that active-duty soldiers and officers of armies of NATO countries are participating in hostilities on the side of the Ukrainian army was also officially confirmed by the permanent representative of Russia to the United Nations Vasily Nebenzia. In particular, on October 30, during a regular UN meeting, he officially stated that the West is no longer able to hide from the world community the participation of NATO soldiers and officers in the current conflict on the side of the Ukrainian army. The Russian army destroys hundreds of NATO soldiers and officers every day in Ukraine. Video footage of dead and captured NATO soldiers and officers appears on the web almost every week. The West is no longer able to hide from the world community the fact that NATO is directly involved in the conflict on the side of Ukraine. And that is why, here at the United Nations, the West is so actively touching on the topic of the arrival of North Korean soldiers in Russia. All this is done to distract the world community from the fact that NATO is waging a real war against Russia, the permanent representative of Russia to the United Nations Vasily Nebenzia said. A senior Russian diplomat also noted that after each Russian missile strike on the territory of Ukraine, the West began to declare the deaths of its high-ranking officers allegedly as a result of accidents such as heart attacks, falls from mountains, and car accidents. According to the Russian diplomat, all these statements by the West are blatant lies. According to Vasily Nebenzia, all these high-ranking Western officers were killed as a result of Russian missile strikes on the Ukrainian army's headquarters and decision-making centers. By the way, commenting on the situation in the Koronevsky and Sudzhansky districts of the Kursk region, war correspondents said that Russian troops continue the systematic destruction of the encircled Ukrainian and NATO soldiers. At the same time, war correspondents also noted that on October 30, The Russian army units managed to rescue and evacuate 20 civilians from the Glushkovsky, Koronevsky, and Sudzhansky districts of the Kursk region. According to them, Russian troops are trying to act very carefully in the invasion zone, trying to save and evacuate as many civilians as possible. Against this backdrop, the authoritative Russian telegram channel Severny Veter announced yet another war crime of the Ukrainian army in the Kursk region. According to this telegram channel, Ukrainian troops not only use civilians as human shields, but also actively use captured Russian soldiers during attacks on Russian troops' positions. It is reported that Ukrainians are tying captured Russian soldiers with explosives and forcing them to go ahead of the Ukrainian troops. As soon as these captured soldiers enter the trenches of the Russian units, a powerful explosion occurs. We call on the international community to respond to the atrocities and war crimes of the Ukrainian army in the Kursk region. Only an army of murderers and cowards can do this. They do not disdain the most vile methods of warfare, the Russian telegram channel said. Many independent military journalists note that the number of such war crimes is increasing every day amid the catastrophic failures of the Ukrainian army not only in the Kursk region, but also in Donbass. Meanwhile, a few hours ago, the head of the Kiev regime, Vladimir Zelensky, rejected General Alexander Syrsky's request to withdraw troops from the Kursk region in order to stabilize the situation in Donbass. According to Zelensky, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine must find other resources to stabilize the situation in Donbass, but not in any way touch the Ukrainian army units located in the Kursk region. According to insiders in Kiev, Zelensky's refusal to withdraw troops from the Kursk region has nothing to do with military strategy. The fact is that the presence of Ukrainian troops in the Kursk region is necessary for the personal PR of the leader of the Kiev regime. The fact is that while Ukrainian troops are holding part of the Kursk region under control, this comedian can continue to tell Western reporters about the allegedly huge success of the Ukrainian army, which is allegedly capable of defeating Russia, if only the West continues to give Kiev the necessary weapons and billions of dollars. Insiders in Kiev claim that on October 30th, during a meeting with Ukrainian generals, Vladimir Zelensky bluntly stated that he did not care about Donbass, and that the most important thing for him was to control 10 square kilometers of Kursk territory, then 50,000 square kilometers in Donbass. At the same time, Zelensky confirmed that for the sake of controlling part of the territory of the Kursk region, he is ready to sacrifice even the most combat-ready units of the Ukrainian army. Well, my friends, judging by the words of Vladimir Zelensky, we will soon witness the complete destruction of Ukrainian and NATO soldiers in the Kursk region.